That's not too good at all. Vipro looking for another charge here, and he goes through with the Archons. There's a lot of Zealots, and they're heavily upgraded. These are 3-3 versus 2-1, which is a huge deal, and it looks like this is gonna make the difference. There's enough Archons in the mix now. 3-3 Zealots just do not die to that composition at GG. Vipro with the upgrade-heavy approach, playing hyper defensively, is able to best Illusion in this best of 9 series. Really nice one on the board here for Karont3. Great performance from Vipro, and let's see who Mousesports decides to send up next. Illusion is definitely one of their stronger Terrans, but they do still have Hero Marine. They could go for a PvP with Mana. Admittedly, I wouldn't. That's like the last matchup that I'd say, oh, we should send out Mana now for that. They probably want to keep Mana back a little bit further than that. They could send Hazwabs out for that. That's a possibility. We will find out very shortly, folks. You're watching the Acer Team Story Cup. Myself, Totalbiscuit casting, and we'll be right back. Ice cream! Get your ice cream! Alright, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the next game? I certainly am, so we're going to go into it. That sounds like a plan, doesn't it? Let's make that happen. Here we go! It's the Hope of Mousesports, in the form of Mousesports Hope. He is in the red trunks. He is playing Zerg to the southwest of Daybreak versus his opponent, who just took out Illusion, is looking at munch on a Zerg next. It is Karont3's Vipro. He is in the blue trunks playing Protoss to the northeast. Alright, Vipro, are you planning on doing a fast expansion? Yes, he is. He's doing a pylon right here. So the question is, what variant does he do? Does he do a Forge before Nexus? Does he do a Nexus before Forge? Or does he do the fabled Gateway Expander Your Natural, which makes no goddamn sense whatsoever. But you never know. It can happen. Vipro's a tricksy one. Who knows? Hope, on the other hand, I would expect to go... I mean, he could go for the pool before the hatchery. That was a thing that was more common previously on smaller maps, because, like, oh, if I get my thing blocked and then I get rushed, it's all horrible. But on a map like Daybreak, you can still go hatchery before pool, even against Protoss. There is, of course, the risk of cannons that you have to worry about, but it seems like Protoss are doing that less and less. So it's... you know, it's not something you necessarily have to consider. We'll be seeing very shortly if we're going to see a Forge from Vipro before we see that. And it's going to be pool right here for Hope. Pool on 15 supply before his hatchery. I don't hate that. As I say, it's totally fine. Both builds only have minor, very minor differences in their openings, so not really a big deal. And we will find out in a second. Is it going to be... yeah, it looks like it's going to be Nexus before Forge. He's going down there. You look at the timings of it. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, this works. You might think, oh, but can he defend against the Lings that are coming at him? Yeah, he totally can. It's actually not a big deal at all. Nice grab by Hope. Vipro is highly upset. His probe will not be stopping that hatchery going down at all. So that's a nice little win there for Hope. If he'd had that delayed, that would have sucked, but it didn't happen. So Forge now goes down for Vipro. You can definitely get the cannon and the Forge up on a map of this size early enough, or you can do an emergency wall off. Both of those things work, and as a result, Zerg don't tend to go for, like, the 6-sling. Oh, I wish I could get into his base approach. Even if one cannon's down, that means about 4 of your Zerglings die before they even get into the base, so it's kind of pointless, and most Zerg players would prefer to get those extra drones out at this stage of the game. So you're going to get 2 Lings, and then you're going to see a Queen. You're going to see a bunch of drones coming out here. So just 2 Lings to kind of control the map. And this particular setup right here with the Forge Fast expansion usually means that the first 6 or 7 minutes of the game are pretty passive. There is, of course, the possibility for Vipro to go Stargate, but it would be a little bit late to do that since he has no gas. It's not entirely outside the realms of possibility. It's considering the power of the Oracle. We have been seeing more players go Stargate instead of this usual +1 on the Forge. The thing about it is that otherwise, why do you build the Forge, you know? If you're not going to start building upgrades, that's kind of part of the advantage of the opener thrown away for you there. So some people just turn around and say, well, no, we'll just stick with the regular, stick with what works, which is usually that +1, and once the +1 completes, you will then try and move out and apply some aggression. You usually send Zealots towards the 3rd base, and then it's really up to the Zerg player to see if you can actually defend it. Most of these matches play out in a fairly similar fashion, but of course, the effectiveness of each stage of it is vitally important. This Ling has no intention of going anywhere near that cannon, because it will die almost immediately, so there's not really any point in doing that. He's not going to learn anything. He knows everything he needs to from the start here, and now, once this Cybercore completes, we will see whether or not Vipro actually wants to go Stargate. You can do it, because the Stargate is so delayed because of the lack of a Cybercore going down a lot later than it would in a regular build, so you will have the gas by that point to build it. Admittedly, since there's no Stalker out yet for Vipro, you can't get rid of this Overlord yet, so we're going to see a +1 attack instead. We may see a Stargate later on, but there's a possibility. 3rd gas actually being taken here by Vipro, but if we're going to look at his standard builds, then he might just go for this big mid-game Colossus push, which seems to work pretty well. Hope is taking 4 gas. No, he's not. He's actually taking 2. So I would expect to see Roaches for a while, simply because on 2 gas, there's really not a lot else you can do. If you want to play Hydra heavy, you need at least 3, really, to do it effectively. We might see 2 more gas go down, and I might be completely wrong, but speed Roaches wouldn't be the worst idea in the world here. They're pretty good against Toss. Here comes a scout, a little Zealot coming out right here, and he will engage against the Queen. Of course, he will die. The Mothership Core is coming in to support it, though, so actually, you never know. This could actually do a little bit. with the militia quarter back up, but Vipro doesn't seem all that interested in engaging. He just wanted to know what was going on. Lair's coming down now, and the third gas and fourth gas still haven't been taken, so it's interesting that we're not seeing a Roach Warren yet from Hope. I guess it's simply because, oh, well, what's the point, you know? I don't need a Roach Warren because you're not attacking me. I know that I'm safe here, at least until that +1 completes, but +1 is fairly close to doing so. 2 more gas now being taken, and they're going to be taken here. This is a bit late to take the gas, in my opinion, if you were looking to go Mutalisk, but you never know. I may be completely wrong on my timings there. A couple of Lings making their way in. Speed is super late, so this is actually going to accomplish absolutely nothing. I'm really not sure why Hope's actually doing it. I mean, you could just have gone in there with a couple of Lings instead of sending so many, but hey, whatever. Maybe he was just looking for an opening, maybe trying to catch a unit off guard as it pushed out, maybe. Twilight Council coming down here for Vipro. Vipro already building Immortals here. Hope going up to a really high amount of drones and now adding his Evo Chamber. It's pretty late for it. Hydra's coming down. Okay. Yeah, with the 4 gas, that makes sense. It wouldn't have made too much sense to go Spire at that stage with the gases being so late, because even if you had Spire, what are you going to do with it? It's like, alright, I'm going to build 5 Mutalisks. It's like, well, that's annoying, but I'm not really too worried about that. That's not a big deal. So, Hydralisk heavy. The question is, does he try and go pure Hydra? Pure Hydra actually works until Colossus come out, and then it doesn't work. Unless you're cats. If you're cats, it works, but it shouldn't. Just pointing that out. Hydra speed on the way, so he is going to get aggressive with them immediately. You usually grab the speed instead of the range as your first upgrade if you want to be aggressive with your Hydralisks. Third Nexus now coming down here, so that is going to eventually pressure Hope into actually taking up 4th base. Lots of Hydras coming out. And no sign of a Robo either. So there it is. It's coming down right now. Twilight Council is down to allow for these upgrades. Admittedly, he's only doing single forge this time around instead of his double forge last time. Hallucinated Phoenix comes in, spots the Hydra Den, spots the fact that it's upgrading, and also spots the Roach Warren coming down. So that's pretty much ideal for him. Now, the cool thing about this is, well, you think, well, why is it that Zerg stopped doing Roach Hydra? Well, the reason they stopped doing Roach Hydra is because it was too easy to kill with Immortal Sentry Colossus. Very, very easy, and Hydras were bad. Now Hydras are less bad. And you might think, still, Colossus kill them really fast, right? Yes, they do. But the thing is that if you can force your opponent down a Colossus tech path... Oh, wow, we almost got out of that. That was actually really bad force field from Vipro. He wasted way too many there. Obviously, he stopped the initial attack on his third, but he should have been able to do that with 3 or 4 force fields, not 6. He did mess that up. The Hydras are almost good out of there. Anyway, the point that I was trying to make is, if you force the Protoss down a pathway, you have to build a lot of Colossus, and then you're able to take up to Vipers, you are in a wonderful position, because you've got a lot of Hydras and Vipers. Colossus are just useless, which is absolutely wonderful. So that's what you want to try and do there. We'll see if he's able to do that. A great little Ling run by here by Hope, and he's actually going all the way into the main with it as well. Lots of Hydras at the front. These Lings are going to go and say hello to the minimal line. Or maybe not. They're actually going to focus the gateway for no apparent reason, but hey, you know, Zerglings are difficult to control. They're very feral creatures. They don't necessarily do as they're told. Hope now looking to hit the third, and this is where this big engagement's going to come down. The Photon Overcharge is in play right here. The force fields come down, and they're pretty good as well, since Hydra range hasn't actually finished. And that's actually why this attack was really weird, because he went in about 10 seconds before Hydra's range finished, which is really weird. You'd think that you would just kind of hold back and say, yeah, okay, I'm going to wait for Hydra range, and maybe I'll try and attack from there, and then the force fields are less useful. But it didn't happen. Currently, this Hydra Force is still pretty effective because there's only one Colossus out, and it doesn't have extended thermal lance, so for the next 2 minutes, this Roach Hydra Force should be pretty good. The question is, can it actually do anything? These sentries are fairly low on energy. That was a baited force field right there. Gonna try to take the Forge down, which is nice. Wasn't researching anything, but it's good anyway. And things are getting a little bit messy right here for both players, and Vipro has so few units here. If he holds onto this will be amazing. Look at the difference between supply, 184 to 107. He's keeping that Colossus alive, and it's doing work right now, but the Hydra's starting to get in range, and down goes the Colossus, and this push, this timing, I think, is hit just when it needs to. There's a big Roach swell coming in right now as well, and if this second wave hits before the extended thermal lance finishes, then I think Vipro is probably going to die horribly. We will see if he's able to hold on. He's doing a pretty good job of it with minimal units. The actual losses are amazing. I mean, look at the difference. The efficiency of Vipro is phenomenal here, but he is playing with so few units right now, trying to deal with this. Zealot's now getting into range of the Hydralisk. There's not really enough damage there, though. Down goes the Immortal. It deals with the Roaches. This big Roach push with no Immortals, no Blink. Oh, actually, Stalkers do have Blink. Never mind. And very few Colossus. There's actually no Colossus on the field right now whatsoever. Could just kill Vipro outright. He's going for it. A couple of Zealots just blown away. They are nothing but dust to the wind right now as the Cybercore gets focused down as well. 95 supplied, 191. Hope with a huge Roach attack coming in here. There's great timing hitting before Colossus, but really all that effective. Time Warp used to defend as best he can. The third base under threat right now. The remainder of Vipro's army is getting obliterated, and there's the GG, and Hope puts one on the board again for Mousesports. Great timing. Wonderful, wonderful timing. Naniwa commented that Vipro was defending the Swedish honor. Unfortunately, it seems that Hope was able to derail that. Actually, never mind. Hope is Swedish too. Swedish honor is intact. Woo! Alright, there you go. Nice one for Mousesports. 1-1 on the board, ladies and gentlemen. Let's find out what happens in Game 3. Who does Karont3 send out next? Do they bring out the big guns? Perhaps they do. Or do they send out LOLXD? They could send out Soke. That's a possibility. In fact, Soke actually seems really likely there. It depends if they want to send out Lucifron or Vortex so early. Vortex in his EVZ, yeah, pretty good. I'd say Soke, but you never know. Let's find out after this break, folks. Don't go anywhere. Sorry for the downtime, folks. These players needing a quick toilet break. We'll be back shortly. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are all sorted out. They're all sorted out, and everything is all pasty and wonderful. We will see what happens in this matchup. It's going to be on Whirlwind, and we are about ready to kick it off. So here we go. As predicted, the Mercenary from Karont3, playing for Team Alternate Attacks, subbing in for Karont3 in this tournament. In the blue trunks, playing Protoss to the northwest, the mighty German, he is Soke. Versus his opponent, the hope of Mousesports, taking a game, getting rid of Vipro, now has to deal with another Protoss. Will the same push work twice? More to the point, will Soke even let it? And the Red Trunks playing Zerg. To the northeast, it is Mousesports' hope. Alright. We'll see where this goes. Since we're going to have a little bit of downtime, since Soke is almost assuredly going to do the same opening that we saw there from his team. I say teammate, it's really weird to say that considering he's not actually on Karont3, but he will most likely do either next before Forge or just a straight up Forge Fast Expand here. Anyway, those of you who don't know, they keep asking about this, so I'll remind you on the stream right now. The music that I play in the breaks for the guys watching the live stream, you can find all of that, at least the list of it, over on last.fm/user/Totalbiscuit. That is last.fm/user/Totalbiscuit. I automatically scrobble to that particular site. And a lot of those songs are actually available for streaming as well, because there's a lot of royalty-free stuff, and then there's also a lot of soundtracks from games that I've got permission to use. So, let's see Nexus Before Forge here, right here for Soke. But yeah. I think the video game music that we play is one of the nice little highlights of the casts we do here, so I'm always happy to produce more of that. Alright, pool goes down, hatchery down here as well, and